Hi folks, I'm Peter Nowlan from New Edge Sharpening in Nova Scotia, Canada. And the purpose of this video, and anyone who's watched my videos before know that I hate making videos, I hate listening to myself, but I've got some questions from my blog viewers about the pressure system that I use and polished edge and stuff. So I thought I'd just make another one just for my blog. So here you see this beautiful handmade Fujiwara, and it is beautiful, but I'm not going to be sharpening that. I'm going to be sharpening this. That's called a Groman knife. It's made in Pictou in Nova Scotia, and it's just an average knife. Good little knife, but average. Nothing special about it. And it's terribly dull, but this is the type of knife that most people use, and a lot of people don't have dream knives, or they might have one, but most of the knives I sharpen are of this quality. So you can see on that it's very dull. I'm pressing in pretty hard on this tomato, and there's nothing happening. So we'll see if we can fix that. And I'm going to use a different combination of stones that I've used before, but it'll sound different because I'm going to use sharpened glass 500, 2000, and 16,000. Yes, and I know that sounds kind of strange, but was recommended to me many years ago by the president of Sharpening USA, and I am thanking him for it ever since because I've used it on hundreds of knives without fail. So let's get started. If you watched my pressure video before, you'll know that I use 4 levels of pressure. When I start, to form a burr, the first one is P4 pressure, or pressure level 4, which is the heaviest amount of pressure that I'll ever use sharpening this knife. And it's the burr forming. So we got the burr forming of pressure. So it's me and the knife working together. You can see where my fingers are placed. It's where they're not just along for the ride, it's where the sharpening is taking place. My goal is, of course, on this 500 grit beautiful coarse stone, is to raise a burr. And I'll check that periodically. And when I'm at the tip, yes, I'm raising my elbow up parallel to the ground to prevent any bevel creep in the tip area. So I always dip my blade in a vertical bucket of water there, vertically in a bucket of water, just because I like doing that. And I'm looking at, it looks nice and even there. And I'll feel for a burr, and it's starting to happen there, very subtle. So that's a subtle burr is all you need. So I'm going to switch sides. Same stone, same angle, or as close as humanly possible, close as I can get it. And then I go down P4 pressure again, starting at the heel, all the way down the stone. When I get to the tip area, elbows up, tucked into my body. And just back down, relaxed. My arm at this knife at this 45-degree angle. And I'm sharpening here at about 19, 20 degrees. It's not important if it's 18, 19, or 20 degrees. What's important is that it's consistent. If I'm starting at 19 degrees, I'm really trying to maintain that throughout the entire process. That's consistency leads to knives sharper than you could possibly imagine. So I feel for the burr on this side, starting, I'll keep going a bit. Remember, P4 pressure. I'm pressing down nice and hard. Probably about 6 pounds of pressure if I were to put my hand on a kitchen scale and press down. I'm not pressing it so hard so that it's uncomfortable or tiring, but it is me and the stone working together. So I'll feel for the burr, feel it start to happen. So that's good. I've phrased the burr on both sides. Now we'll go down to P3 pressure. Now it's all about burr removal. Only one burr is necessary on both sides during the course of this sharpening of one knife. So my goal now is to remove that burr and clean the edge. So I'm using P3 pressure, which is, I've reduced my pressure by 50% or so. Maintain that angle. Fairly focused. Elbow up, back down, continuing at P3 pressure. P2 pressure now, which is again even less pressure. Very little pressure here now. I'll go from tip to heel, heel to tip, and I'll flip. Repeat the motion. On the other side, at P2 pressure. And then I'll go down to P1 pressure, which is basically a stropping motion. So my goal, as you know, is to bring side A and side B of that knife together as closely, as precisely as humanly possible at the apex. The primary edge. Your goal here, when you're sharpening a knife with using 3 grits, coarse, medium, and fine, is to get your knife nice and sharp in the middle. Now, on the coarse stone. Now, one of the things I always do is I look under a good light at the edge of the knife. Now, I can see reflections of light along parts of the blade right here. Those reflections are indicators that I haven't done my job here with the Waterstone. There's still little bits of metal, fragments of metal, folded over somewhat one way. So I have to go back and remove that. My goal is to have no reflections of light at all. So all it is repeating the motion at P2 pressure and concentrating on those areas where I saw the light. I saw the light, folks, and now I'm going to make it go away. It's really important to have patience and not jump to another stone until you've cleaned the edge. Any light reflecting is an indication that you have not done that, or I haven't done it. It's really a simple trick, and it's very effective. The difference in sharpness between an edge with light and no light, or metal and no metal along the edge, is remarkable. So, I'll have another look here again. And I can't see any light. So, a little tiny bit there. So all I do there, quickly go like that on both sides with very little pressure. Have a look. Bingo, she's gone. So we'll see how that, you can see how that edge feels against that tomato now. If it goes in there, you can see it's going in there now nicely, pretty good. So we're making progress. So I will move from the 500 grit stone to a 2000 grit stone. The same process again, except for one thing. I don't need to use P4 pressure anymore. I'll start with P3 pressure this time. So just a little bit of pressure to refine this edge, to clean the edge, to remove some of the deep scratch marks left by the coarse stone along the bevels and edge. That's what refining is. We don't want to over-refine this knife. It's only a soft steel knife. I don't want to over-refine because that will degrade edge retention. It might look pretty, but there's no use to that. So this knife is even capable of a 1K, 2K finish. But you're going to see that I'm going to break that rule and go to 16K. But you'll see, it's not that. There's no grinding taking place at 16K. It's cleaning. So I'm at P3 pressure here. I'll go down to P2 pressure. Just a little bit. Beautiful feelings on this 2K stone. It's nice and smooth. I'm concentrating on holding that angle. Trying to be consistent as my muscle memory allows me to be. Remembering to make my fingers do some work. Then I'll go down to P2, very light again. And finally, P1 pressure, which is just a stropping motion. I'm going through this pretty quickly for the purpose of this video. I don't want to put people to sleep. And I know I made the mistake once of doing a vertical video and People rip my head off for that, but I learned something from that. So I thank you guys for being so nice to me. So that's 2K, 16K sharpened glass. And I'm just going to very light pressure here. Sorry about that phone call, folks. Second attempt at this video. I had dogs barking the last time, so. So now P1 on the 16, and it's just, I'm holding this knife so that it just doesn't fall out of my hands. That's how lightly I'm holding it. Because, and this knife will be very highly polished. It's inevitable with these 2K and 16K stone. So now we'll take that tomato, and we'll see if Peter Nowlin knows what he's talking about. So it should bite into this. See, you can't see it, but it does have a nice level of polish on there. Hard to see on a video, I understand that. So I'm not using any pressure. It's biting into the tomato. No pressure at all there, folks. And that's not I'm not trying to brag or boast. I'm just trying to say that, yes, you can polish a knife and still cut into a tomato. Okay. If you just need to be a little precise about it. That's all. It just takes some time. So anyway, that's my video. I would finish this knife off with a light stropping. This one happens to be kangaroo leather. And a very light stropping at the same angle I sharpen the knife at. And I guarantee you that this knife is a heck of a lot sharper than it was 10 minutes ago. You can feel it. You can see the nice polished edge. Well, you probably can't see it in the video. It's nice and polished, and it's digging into my pads of my fingers, grabbing them. And so that's it. Thank you very much, folks.